Hey guys, Tech here for another video, and today's going to be a short video. I just wanted to show a little tip here in Excel, and because my work that I do during the day is very Excel oriented and oriented in a lot of Office products, I think what I might do is look to see if I can find some other pointers and tips and things, and whether it's Excel or Word, and other Office products that can be useful to those that don't know how to do it. And so today we're going to be talking about how you can create a pick list in Excel, but specifically creating a pick list with different colors. So some of you may have noticed that you can create a pick list, but it doesn't allow you the ability to define the colors whenever you choose those options. So here, for example, what we're going to do is we have a task list, right? And we want to just go ahead and label this tasks 1 through 3, for example. And for the completed column right now, I can go ahead and send this to someone and they can input a value. But there's no pick list or anything, so they don't know what options they might have to use. Now, the pick list is very valuable because when someone is trying to complete a spreadsheet, if someone puts in a value that's in a different capitalization, or they put in a value incorrectly into those fields, then it can ultimately affect the data that you're kind of looking to pull. So if you wanted to create a bar graph or something, if someone put in there yes with a period versus yes with an exclamation point or something, those are different values, so that can definitely affect that. And you want it to always be consistent, which is why a pick list can be helpful. So if I wanted to use a pick list in this entire column, the first thing I would do is I would just click on the column header here, the letter of the column header, and I'm just going to Control and left click on the top heading here. So I'm selecting everything except for the top header. And then what I want to do is I want to go in here and I'm going to go to the data validation section. Now you can see when I go to data validation for the allow field here, I have some different options that I can choose from. I can designate whether I want them to be decimals or specific value, any value, date, time, text length, custom, but in this case we want to do list. And for the list, I want to choose from a source. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this button here, and this is going to allow me to choose the list of values that will be the pick list values. Now in this case, so what I could do is I could have those values in just any column here, but I want to keep them separate. So actually, before I do that, what I actually want to do is I want to go ahead and just create another sheet. Let me just start by doing that so that I have my formula sheet here. This is going to be what I'm going to use for my formulas, and I'm actually going to just make this column here. This is going to be where I'm going to have my formula, so I just want a yes, no value, and maybe an NA option for not applicable. And if I head back here and I go back to that same location for the data validation, I select my list value and I click on that little up arrow icon, I can now navigate to this page, this new sheet that I've created, and I can select those values. So these 3 values that I've selected are now going to be the only values that I can choose from in that column. And if I click on this little drop down arrow here and I click on OK, it's going to go ahead and confirm that action. So now you can see that whenever I click on any of these particular places here in the spreadsheet, I now have that drop down option. So if I wanted to choose yes, for example, for this task, and I wanted to choose no here, and not available for the first one, that's great. Unfortunately, though, there's no way to actually choose the color coding. So how would I set this up so that if I chose yes, for example, I can maybe make this green and red, gray, or whatever colors I want to use? We're going to do this using a different tool here. So now that I have my pick list set, what I'm going to do is go to the home screen or the home tab. I'm going to go and again select this entire column, Control left click the top header here just to select everything but that top column. I'm going to go to Conditional Formatting, and I'm going to go ahead and hover over the Highlight Cell Rules option. And now if I go down here to the Equal To option, what this is going to let me do is designate whenever a certain value is either entered or selected, then it's going to allow you to choose which color that box will become. So in this case, I want the yes pick list values, I want them to be green. So by default, you can see that I can choose this green fill with dark green text option here. And there is a preset list of values. So this is what's available right now. If you're using Excel online, you can do the same thing, but there's an even finer tuned list of options available. And there is no custom formatting option in Excel online. So just keep in mind, if you want to do this for a spreadsheet that you're going to be sharing with Excel online, you'll want to, if you want to customize it and you don't want to use just one of these presets, you want to do that in the actual Excel application, the local application, because you can choose a custom format there, and then the online version of Excel will display it however you pick it. But if you want to just stick with one of these values here, then you can do it whether it's the online version of Excel or if you're using the desktop copy. So just depending on what you're doing. In this case, just to demonstrate it, I'm going to choose custom formatting, and I'm going to go ahead and go over here to the fill and make sure everything that I want is selected. So I'm going to just use, we'll use this green here. And for the font, I'm going to choose black. Actually, you know what? Yeah, we're going to choose black. For the text color, when I click on OK, you can see that it's going to adjust. So I've got black text, green background, click on OK. And now the nice thing is that whenever I click on this drop-down icon and I click on yes, you can see that it automatically fills that box with the color and font combination that I've chosen. Now likewise, I can do the same thing if I select this column. Oops, and I just unselect that top row there. I can go ahead and go back to my conditional formatting, and I can choose equal to. Do the same thing with the no value. This time we're just going to use one of the defaults. We'll use red. And you know what, for NA, same process. We're just going to select the yellow option there. So I can go here and do equal to NA. And we'll use this yellow fill option. Oops. And click on OK. So now, again, as I go in here and someone is actually picking these values, it's going to automatically designate both the color and the value that you have set here. So you can do this with any values in here, any values that you want to use a specific color combination. And then again, the other thing that you can do here is, since I have my formulas sheet here, and I can just go ahead and rename this formulas, for example. Anytime you guys are creating formulas, whether it's just a pick list of values or if you're doing complex mathematical kind of functions and things, what you can do is you can have a separate sheet for that purpose, and then you can hide it. And that way you just have this visible. You can keep that formula sheet hidden so that it's just doing all the work in the background, but you don't actually need to have it visible. And that's it. That's how you can create your colored pick list here in Excel. You can do this again with Excel Desktop or the online version. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below. Like the video if you liked it. And if you check the description of this video, there are some ways to support the channel. There's a Cash app that you can download that gets you discounts off of restaurants and services. Plus you get $5 free for signing up. And there's some other apps in there that I recommend you use to get discounts online. So check that out. There's also an option to donate to the channel if you'd like to do that as well. But that's it for this video. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.